Mandela and Winnie, in the bustling heart of Johannesburg in 1957, two souls met who would change the course of South Africa's history, not only through politics, but through love. Nelson Mandela, then a 40-year-old lawyer, already carried the fire of justice in his eyes. Winnie Mandela, a 23-year-old social worker, was radiant, bold, and magnetic. When they met, it was as if destiny paused to witness the beginning of a story written in both tenderness and tragedy. Friends recall how Mandela was captivated from the first moment, his charm melting into admiration as he watched her quiet grace. Their connection was electric, undeniable, and immediate. Soon, the two became inseparable, a symbol of elegance and hope amid a country torn by racial segregation and oppression. In 1958, they married and settled in Orlando, Soweto, a union that would be celebrated by their people as a beacon of strength and tested by time and turmoil beyond imagination. Their home was filled with laughter, music, and the sweet chaos of family life. They had two beautiful daughters, Zenani and Zinzi, who became their pride and joy, yet this happiness was short-lived. The political struggle against apartheid grew more dangerous by the day. Nelson's activism made him a target, and in 1964 he was sentenced to life imprisonment. For Winnie, the fairy tale shattered overnight. Alone, she was left to raise their children under constant threat, while the love of her life disappeared behind the bars of Robben Island. In prison, Mandela wrote her letters filled with longing and devotion. His words painted pictures of a love that refused to die. But distance and loneliness are cruel companions. In her memoirs, Winnie confessed that loneliness is worse than fear, a wound that never healed as she endured endless raids, harassment, and public scrutiny. She became both a warrior and a survivor, but at the cost of her peace. While Mandela cultivated self-discipline behind bars, Winnie's life outside became a storm. Her courage and defiance inspired many, but the weight of isolation took its toll. She began to lose herself in the chaos of the struggle, sometimes crossing lines that blurred her image as a heroine. Rumors of lovers reached Mandela's prison cell, deliberately placed to break his spirit, yet he never condemned her. He understood the impossible circumstances she faced. But as her political influence grew, so did her controversies. Her bodyguards, the so-called Mandela United Football Club, became infamous for acts of violence, and even Nelson pleaded with her to disband them. Still, Winnie remained untamed, a flame that refused to bow to anyone, not even her husband. When Mandela was finally released in 1990, the world watched as he walked hand in hand with Winnie, a symbol of triumph and reconciliation. But beneath that iconic moment, cracks had already formed. Winnie's public scandals and private affairs strained the marriage beyond repair. Mandela's heart, once bound to hers with unbreakable love, now bore the marks of deep sorrow. In 1992, he announced their separation with grace and pain, declaring, "My love for her remains undiminished." But love alone could no longer heal what years of distance and struggle had destroyed. In 1996, their divorce became official, a bitter conclusion to a love that had once burned bright enough to light a nation's hope. Even so, Mandela never stopped speaking of her with affection. She was, as he once said, the love of my life. Their story remains not just one of romance, but of resilience, passion, and the high price of freedom.